Congratulations.
Thank you.
Epic match. Has to be a thrill to end the tournament in that grand fashion. I want to go back to the semifinal match. With Takatani, a familiar opponent, someone you'd wrestled, you felt that low single before. What was it about his approach or your approach, or what was it that he was able to get in so consistently?
He's really fast. He's really fast, and he does a good job isolating the ankle. He does a really good job there. Every time he shot, I scored. So typically that's a pretty good recipe for me. Most of the time it goes in my favor 2-1, but it went 2-2-1 pretty much every time. So that's probably the biggest difference in how they called it. Similar situations, but I mean, hats off to him, and he did a good job. And then I got caught in a lace on one of the transitions, and just felt like points were just flying, and this happens.
Was it hard to get in a rhythm? It felt like there was just chaos and exchanges, and then there's challenges, and the match really didn't have a consistent cadence about it. Was that a factor?
I don't think so. I mean, it was just wrestling. You wrestle the positions that you're in, and you try to go get in the leg. And at the break, I was down 9-4. I was like, wait, how'd that happen? But maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But I knew I had to go score, so I got to take down a turn. I'm right back in it. He shoots in. I get another turn, 10-9, and then all of a sudden he gets 2-2-2 after that sequence, and I had to fight pretty hard to make sure I didn't get tech faulted because that lace was really tight.
In the previous meeting, a lot more was kind of connected, a lot more ties.
Yeah.
Was operating more from space a tactic that you wanted to implement, or did it just kind of materialize that way?
No, it just happened that way. I feel like I'm really fast, and if a guy takes a low shot on me, I feel really confident I'm going to score. And if I wrestle him again, it's probably not going to be the tactic. It's just going to be go get your hands on him and go. Every time I shot, I scored, pretty much. So, there's just a lot of things going on in life, and this is just another thing. It's just a wrestling match.
Kyle, can you take us from the transition then from last night and just obviously extreme disappointment of falling short of a huge goal, just having to re-gear and be ready to wrestle for bronze?
Yeah, I know. I was obviously upset. I wanted to win. Everyone wants to win, and when it didn't happen, that was tough. But how do I want to represent myself? How do I want to represent the country? What kind of example do I want to set for my kids, for kids throughout the whole world? So go out, and it's a new day, and be your best on that day.
And you talked a little bit, obviously, to us as reporters earlier, but just Christian said chaos, but the chaos then of the bronze medal match and the review, that took another mental reset. Just walk us through that set of
Yeah, I mean, I looked up at the clock, and it was like 48 seconds, and Coach Kale has been talking to me this whole year. He's like, all right, all I want you to do is get 2 takedowns in 45 seconds. That's it. So I'm looking over. I'm like, all right, well, I got 2 takedowns. Let's go. Just get in there and fake, run corner, change direction, and just keep going, it's such a weird year. Man, such a weird year. But wouldn't change it. It was meant to happen this way, so I don't have any regrets about what's been going on.
The challenge of the year, the loss of your father, how much did that impact the trials and the lead up to here?
Yeah, I didn't have any consistent training. I was just with my dad, and fortunately Mike Gray and the Cornell staff brought me in. They got to wrestle with some of their gray shirts, and they want to help me. Mike and Frank Borelli are 2 of my best friends, and I spent a ton of time with them. So they have a job to do, I have a job to do, and they're like, hey, come on in, let's go. Like, I know you're in a tough spot, so driving back and forth and trying to get some consistency and doing all those things, that was hard. And then after the trials, just need to take some time off and try to get some sort of grieving period. I don't think it's ever going to go away. You kind of just start to live with it and understand it and move through it. Just little things like I was in the hotel room with my family when they first got here. And I'm looking around and I'm looking for my dad, and then I remember, and it hits you kind of hard. So, it was just a really odd year. I mean, I feel like I wrestled really well. I mean, I scored a lot of points, and I had fun. My body felt good. I had an amazing support team all the way through here. Dr. Hoper has been like a rock. She's been really helpful, and I really couldn't do it without her. It'd be really difficult. Just kind of, you got to get through it.
You talked about your wife. Could you just describe the level of support she brings for you?
Yeah, so my wife and I just celebrated 17 years together. So that's over. We've known each other longer than we haven't. We've been together longer than we haven't in our lifetime. So, the sacrifice that she made to do this with me. I mean, she's by my side all the time. She stays at home with the kids, and we're just like, she's like, hey, let's do this. She's all in. She's just an amazing woman, an amazing mother, amazing wife. I can't, like, people say that, and that, I don't know. I mean, I truly mean it. Like, I really do mean it. Like, there's not another person in the world that I'd rather be with than her. And we've been through life together. We went through high school, we went through college, we went through post-grad before kids, with kids, and now we're pregnant again and have another one. So it's just like, and we lived in Lansing our entire life. We never left upstate New York. And I'm like, hey, I think we need to go. And she's like, let's do it. And that was a huge, huge, huge sacrifice on her part, to leave the comfort of having both grandparents, aunts and uncles just always around. Not to mention all of the friends that we've had from high school and college are still in town. That was a huge change for us. And Megan did an unbelievable job. And while we're in state college, it's not just us, but from our experience of having so many people around, it was just us. This time would not be possible without her.
Speaking of Megan, we just obviously came out of the formal press conference, and you got quite a smile on your face when you were remembering spending that time with them, that short amount of time after winning your medal.
Yeah.
And then you were cracking up at Takatani, so you
Yeah.
had your piece in. I don't know that
Yeah.
Richard or I,
So
or Kristen here.
yeah, so
What was he saying?
he was just saying.
Do you think your celebration led to him
Well, that's what
going
he
up in the
said.
stand?
Yeah, so
Okay.
he was like, oh, I really look up to Kyle. And I saw him before the match go in the stands, and I was like, wow, that's really cool.
So
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy Kyle.
I
And I was like, that's cool. He's a good kid, man. I really respect him, and he did a good job. And hats off to the other medalists as well. Zamalov had it, or however you say his name, but he had a tough road. He had to earn it. And, there was, that's wrestling, man. That is wrestling.
You're 33. How does the body feel right now?
I mean, I feel pretty good.
All right.
Muscles feel a little sore. The weight cut is still a thing. It still just takes a lot out of you. It stinks that there's only 6 weights. We got 10 weights. It'd be a lot different story. I love wrestling. It's fun, and even though I didn't get what I wanted, even if I had the gold medal, I'd still have the same answer. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I know I still love doing it. I still love competing. What do my kids want to do, though? Like Ella Jo's like, hey, Dad, can you hurry up so we can go get ice cream? Like, she just sent me a voicemail about it. It's funny. She's 5. She'll be 6. Emmy will be 4 soon. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun being a dad. So I don't want to miss those moments either. just my schedule, I get a lot of time with them. You know, I'm the first one up with them. You know, I cook them breakfast and do all of that, and then I go get my workout. And sometimes I come home for lunch and then help them put them down for a nap, and then I go back into practice, and then I'm always home for dinner. So, you know, I get to spend a lot of time with them. So that's I'm very, very thankful for Canadian Line Wrestling Club for, you know, having the resources that they do to help support me in that. Thankful for all my sponsors, Spartan Combat, Pure and Clean Sports, Fanatics, Fanatic Wrestling, and USA Wrestling. You know, so you know, it takes a village. They say that, and it really does. You know, I wouldn't be able to do it without them. And yeah.
You had mentioned the weight cut still a thing. As you're processing continuing and not continuing, would moving up be an option for you? You're a two-time world champion at 79 kilograms. Would you consider that?
Oh yeah, I asked Coach Bill. I'm like, hey, can we wrestle at the World Championships this year? And there's a rule that we're not allowed to. Some Olympians are allowed to. So, and you know, so it's funny because you know Zane is big for 65, I'm big for 74, and Aaron's big for 86. I'm like, well, why don't we all just move up? That'll be fun. And we got the kibosh on that pretty quick. But yeah, it would be a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, like wrestling, and yeah, LA's not too far away, but it's still kind of far away. So we'll see. Good.
Kyle, thanks so much for your time and congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep.